Hello.
There we go. Amy, are you a co-host? Jason is. Can Jason or Amy watch and admit people and make Amy a co-host? I can't do it from there. Tammy, your host. Can you make Amy a co-host? Also, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hopefully everybody saw the agenda, and we're adding things to it as we speak. I'm going to start, just give you an update of some stuff we talked about. I had 2 board meetings yesterday, one with Iola and one with SEK. And at both libraries, or at both board meetings, we reviewed the IPL SEKLS agreement. So for my new people, this agreement is reviewed by both boards, and it covers all of the, it's like our memorandum of understanding between Iola and SEK. And it covers things like my salary and Brenda's salary, how much of the utilities does SEK pay, what's the rent, what do we do about shared copy machines and things like that. So in reviewing this, it was part of both of our strategic plans. It brought up some bigger discussions about the future of SEK and IPL being the last of the shared systems in the state, with CKLS breaking away from Great Bend, and North Central Kansas Library System breaking away from Manhattan Public. So it just was time to have this conversation. And so back in October, we invited Gail Santee and Sandy Wilkerson to come to a joint board meeting of both boards. And what they had to say was both the public library and the system benefit from a full-time director. So that was kind of hard for the Iola board to hear, but they made the decision on their own, I did not prompt them, to create a new assistant director position. So that's going to be posted any day now. And Iola is going to have this full-time assistant director position, that in the hopes that this person will grow into a director position, and that the Iola the city of Iola understands, and our budget is able to accommodate this person. So it's kind of big news, and big changes, but we hope that we've been managing this whole process respectfully and purposefully, and giving lots of people time to adjust. So the change that the big change that we made is that once this person is hired, once Iola hires this full-time position, Brenda and our positions will go from 1/3, 2/3. So right now I'm like 13 hours as the Iola director and 26.4 hours as the SEKLS director. And that's going to go to 10 hours at Iola and 30 hours at SEKLS. So we're going to change that ratio. And that should, then again in 2026, we can change it again, and maybe go down to 80/20 or 90/10, or whatever. It just depends on who we hire, so who wants to come and be the Iola director. So the issue is Iola has always had a MLS degree librarian. Back in 1965 or 64, under Lucille Wagner, she had her degree, and she had gone up to the state library to ask for some construction funds to build this building. And that's when she started talking with the state librarian, and he was telling her about this regional library system idea that he had. And because she had her master's degree, she qualified and was able to spearhead the development of the systems in Southeast Kansas. So I learned all this in Roger's book. So if you don't have Roger's book, where's Roger's book? Oh, here it is. It's a history of the systems, and it's really interesting, and he did a good job with that. Um, so Iola has always had a degreed librarian at the helm, and the Iola board wants to make sure that we maintain that, and don't sort of go in a different direction. So it just means I have to do a presentation in front of my city council in January, like several of you have already done. So I might be reaching out to you to look at your presentations and get some help. Amy's already helped me with the job description, and we got that approved last night at the board meeting. So we're booking along, and we'll see what the future brings. Like I said, that the assistant director position came out of my November library board meeting, and it's like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. So I'm really happy with my board. I told them that last night. The other part, or the other thing that was approved, was the our working budget. So I don't know if you guys do this. This is something that Roger always did, and it makes sense to me, where it's been many months since you approved your budget for next year, and December is a good time to look at where you are, look and see what your carryover is going to be. Make sure you have enough money in the bank to cover January and part of February's bills. If you need to make a capital improvement fund transfer, now's the time to decide that if to do that. And the capital improvement fund is your way of having reserves, that you can, transfer back into your general fund if you need to, if something horrible happens. So the one big purchase that the board approved is we're going to get a pretty new red car. So we're buying a new car for the fleet. So we will be out and about in our little red Camry hybrid, starting in December. I think that's it. That covers that. The office is going to be closed tomorrow from 11 to 1, so we can have food and play games and just kind of celebrate everything that has been accomplished this year. And then it's come across my news feeds that Schellenberger and Tyson, who are both from Southeast Kansas, are in leadership positions next year in the legislature. So we'll see how that helps us, or we'll just make sure that at Library Legislative Day, which is the 28th, so it's the day before Kansas Day, in Topeka, we will make sure that we go and meet with both of these folks. So Schellenberger is Baxter Springs and Tyson is Lynn County. So that's it for me. I'm sure I'm missing things, but I'll interject as needed. Any questions? Awesome. Amy, you're on.
Okay, I'm on. Minimal updates this month. And please, if you weren't at our last forum, go ahead and go back and read those notes. We got all of the Excellence Awards presented at the libraries and one Board of County Commissioners meeting last month. So that is all done, and congratulations, everyone, and thank you for your great work. Almost all of the final allocation reports are in, so please pat yourself on the back, and thank you so much for getting that done. The new application, or the next application, opens with the new year. And the other thing to be looking at now is your state survey. Um, we're still planning to have like a Q&A webinar with Alice if she's available. She hasn't made her dates available to us yet, so please don't wait for it. Go ahead and get started. And if you need support, especially if this is your first time doing it, go ahead and reach out. Um, I will tell you though that we've been told that the survey remains mostly the same as last year. So if you've done this before, it shouldn't be too awful. Um, just let us know if you need some support with that. And that's kind of it for now. We're winding down the year, and that's all I got.
For my new folks with that state report, let us know if you need your login information. I would highly recommend you get into it during December. It is a multi-page report with lots of information that you're going to be asked for. Thankfully, Jason, if you're a Seek and Find library, Jason provides a big chunk of that. So thank you, Jason. But there's questions about your finances. There's questions about your programs. There's questions about your door count. There's questions about how many hours you're open. There's questions about, how much staff do you have? So I'm a big believer in orienting yourself. So have a look at that before it comes in January and you have to get it done and then it becomes stressful, right? Yeah. Okay, but we are here to help. All right, that's all of Amy's. Jason.
I don't have too much either. The main thing for me is participation agreements. I've got 6 in so far, so I will be sending out a reminder after this meeting with the agreement attached. And I've also made my tracking spreadsheet public, so you'll be able to tell if you have sent it in or not, or you can see if I haven't received it, if you've sent it, that sort of thing. So I'll have that posted in the news section of Koha, so you can keep track of that. State survey, like they said, I'll be posting numbers from Koha like right at the beginning of the year, and that'll go in that news section of Koha and also in an email to you. So watch for those numbers. You don't have to get ahead of yourself on the stuff coming out of Koha. And then oh, the other thing, we finally got the ball rolling on Allen County, which is exciting. So I see Virginia's here. I had my first meeting with Bywater, and we've got some dates. We're looking at a test load in March, and then we'll be going live in June with Allen County. So excited about that, and more to come on that soon.
Okie dokie. I'm looking. Okay. Darren, you're next on the list.
Right, hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Just real quick, we are the 55 plus grant. We are being able to purchase a sensory projector that is focused for the elderly. Some of you have probably seen something similar to at Wichita, where they have it mounted on the ceiling and it projects different games. This particular one is sold by a company that has a lot of stuff that is focused more on the elderly, nursing homes, senior care centers, and then also it is the company's called Sensory One, and they do a lot of stuff in sensory rooms. And so if we are able to get the doc grant approved that we applied for on the makerspace and also the digital literacy navigators, we'll also have some programs for the mentally disabled, and this will help us out for autism and other areas like that. This particular projector can also be used for children, but most of the programs are focused more on the 55 and plus. And remember, this is actually being purchased by the grant that TechWise and Greenbush is sponsoring in that area. So the focus will be used for promoting that particular service. As you're going to probably see in the next 4 or 5 months, even if we do not get the doc grant, digital literacy is going to be something that you'll hear a lot from me. That hopefully, if we do not get that grant, we're still going to go ahead and try to promote that in some way. Ningio is a program that, or is a service that you guys, some of you have participated in and others haven't. I was looking at the usernames. I'll go ahead and be contacting the new directors and explaining. Basically, Ningio is dealing with cybersecurity awareness. Normally the videos are 5 to 10 minutes long. One of the characters in each of them is a well-known actor, like Stacy Keach was a CFO in one that I watched yesterday. So, very good quality. And if nothing else, these would be great for beginning any programs, especially if you're doing adult programs, and maybe use it as icebreaker to go ahead and talk about digital literacy. And you can decide which episode that you want to log into and watch, and it can go ahead and do some or you can start some discussions related to cybersecurity. A lot of these will go really well with the TechWise modules that they've created. A lot of them, they're just perfect additional information there. The other thing that you'll hear me talk about quite a bit is on the ALA or website. Digital literacy is on the initiatives in digital literacy. That is actually a page that's got quite a few resources to go to, and including, again, a bunch of little videos and tutorials that are related to different topics, cybersecurity again, and then just using Facebook, using the internet, just using Canva, all kinds of different resources on there, and it's very good. So I would strongly encourage, and you'll probably get tired of me sending you emails related to this, but if you reply or if you say, hey, I enjoy this one, it'll make me happy, and maybe I won't send as many emails. And then the last thing, E-rate. Please get a hold of Ben if you haven't already. You'll get an email from me related to the category 2, the recommendations. You should take advantage of this if you can, to at least apply for, let's get some new switches, new routers, and then also try to get backup power supplies for as many computers in the public and also for your staff. This is a time to go ahead and try to get current, where we're covering all of our computers. And then I would also recommend on some of your, if you have a print server or anything like that, and printers would also be a good thing. And then anything additional that you have that, if the electricity went off, that it really, that it benefits that it is shut down properly. So again, you're gonna get tired of hearing E-rate as well and digital literacy, and you're gonna say, Darren, would you please be quiet? So today I will be quiet. Well, actually, the last thing, some of you have written or have observed that the tech grant, your checks were 75%, not the 100% of what you are going to be getting from us for your in the long run. You're expected to use your 25% matching and the 75% to be able to pay for the service or pay for the materials and the equipment now. And then when you are done next year, then you're going to fill out the report, and you're going to say, or you're going to show that you did go ahead and pay for all that, and then whatever balance that you have left, provided that you actually use the funds for that, then you'll get reimbursement. So I'll follow that up with a couple or with some other folks to make sure that everybody understands. But that is a common email that I've been receiving, and I just wanted to discuss that and let you guys know it's not that we forgot your money. It's that 25%.
Yeah, that's how the grant works. I want to say for the uninterrupted power sources, those battery blocks, anything in your library that is expensive and that a brownout, like a power surge would hurt, put it on an uninterrupted power source, because that's what they're there for. Andrea, you had your hand up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, and see you. Very festive
Darren,
today.
did you indicate that we could use that tier 2 or whatever it is, E-rate money for printers? Did I hear that?
For printers, for power supplies to keep the printers
Oh, okay.
going. No, we're printers and any other equipment that's not server related. We're not able to use that. Do remember though that this is the first year that the hotspots, we'll get more information on that. I believe Ben has been communicating with people that have talked to him regarding that situation. So that's the main equipment that we haven't had the opportunity to use E-rate for in the past, that you can use this year.
So I had a question in there and now I've forgotten what it was. I don't know. It left me.
Raise your hand when it comes back to you. I added a link to TechWise in the notes. Darren had already added links to some of the other resources that he talked about, including Ningio. And Ningio it's a service we provide, so take advantage of it. All right, thank you, Darren. Tammy?
I thought I'd drop a link to the notes in the chat, just in
Thank
case you
you.
don't have it really handy. There's several of you on there, but sometimes I can't find them, so I thought I would. Hello, everyone, and good morning. Wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow is the CSLP workshop, which will serve as our summer library program workshop for next year. So the hours will go on your allocation for 2025. So that's 5 hours. You're not required to be in Iola, but you are welcome to come and watch with us there. I have 9 people that have indicated that they'll be in Iola watching with us. And so if you have signed up, you should sign up with CSLP so that you get a link to watch the webinar. And April, go ahead.
So is it tomorrow or is it Thursday on the 5th? I have it down as Thursday. Just clarifying. Thank you.
You know, you're right. It is. You're right. Absolutely. I've got a lot going on this week. Tomorrow's our staff party. It's the day after. Right. Okay. Thank you. So 5 CEs for 2025 allocation. Okay. Then we have Youth Services Community of Practice coming up on the 16th of December and also on the 20th of January. And then we have a new training that's coming up in January. At the end of January, we'll provide a new director or new youth service staff orientation. And that'll be January 30th in Iola. That registration will open up. I don't think it's open yet. It'll be at the beginning of January. We usually do a 4-week lead into the training. So look for that at the beginning of January. So I'm going to stop there and ask, does anyone have questions about summer reading workshop? Thank you, April, for the clarification, or youth services community practice, or orientation. If you consider yourself a new director or a new youth service, or you have a new youth services staff, I would sign up.
Yep.
And it's going to
Remember
be
that
tied to the new criteria for allocation.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's so this is the last year for a CE implementation project, and I know I think a couple of our FEPA libraries are on board for getting that, and then we're gonna twilight the CE implementation and instead put in the youth services criteria that we talked about at the annual meeting, and I can find it and put a link to it, but we'll get that out for you so you're aware of what those criteria are, because it's during 2025 you need to implement those criteria, and then in January 2026 you'll look back and go, oh yeah, we met all at least 5 of the 6. Cindy wants to know how long that Color Our World webinar is going to be.
It's a 5-hour workshop. There are some breaks in between. There's a break for lunch. That's why you get 5 hours of CE credit. And the agenda for the day is on the CSLP website where you will sign up, and that's linked in our calendar page.
Okay.
Good questions. Sorry for all the confusion on the Wednesday, Thursday thing. That's how busy I am, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions? And I know some of you are already planning for changes that you want to make to youth services because of the new allocation criteria. Some of you have told me about your changes and the plans that you have, and it's really exciting to see what's happening out there. I was in St. Paul yesterday, and Sharon just prepared ahead of time. She didn't know that the changes were coming, but she's all ready. If you haven't seen the changes that have happened in St. Paul, you should stop by sometime. They're really amazing. Any other questions about that? And then I just have one question. I ran across, I'm kind of late to the party, I think. I ran across Baker and Taylor's Sustainable Shelves project when I was looking for some other stuff. Has anyone tried that? It's where you weed and then they send you a box to pick up the books that you weeded and give you credit for some of the books, and then we'll recycle what they don't give you credit for. So I know that there have to be pros and cons.
If it's like Butterworld Books was, they only wanted certain books, so we had this process of scanning everything that we discarded. And then if Butterworld Books said yes, they'll take it, we put it in their box and sent it to them. I'm not sure if Baker and Taylor uses that same process.
That's not how it's marketed. However,
Okay.
that doesn't mean that's not how it is, as we all know, right?
Yeah.
But I just wondered if anyone had tried it or looked into it, because it could be a solution to getting rid of some of our books if it operates in the way that it's marketed.
Well, and so after our last book sale, we had over 100 boxes. So
Right.
yeah. So
I mean, that would be very time consuming to scan them all in to their system. So like I said, I'm not sure.
well, and
But
how do they
maybe.
afford to ship that many boxes? That would be my
I don't
question.
know, but it might be something for us to look into.
Especially the little libraries, those of you who don't have, thousands of books that you're trying to get rid of. Oh, Gina, you said you guys got that call. Were they reaching out to people and asking about it?
Yeah, I think they were. And we had just set up our Better World Books account. And from the way it sounded like it might be better for libraries who maybe cycle through their newer fiction every 2 to 3 years. Whereas we hold our new fiction a lot longer than that. And so if you're cycling through like the newest James Patterson, like every 2 or 3 years, I think they'll take those and then credit you towards that. But if you're like us, where we have, 20-year-old James Patterson, and that's the one we're reading, I don't think they'll take those.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would, for us, it would be the resource copies, and those go to rotation. So,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, so help me remember, and we'll add or Amy or Tammy can add the Better World Books link to that too, because that is another option for libraries to get some credit or some an easier way to get rid of some of your books without throwing them in the landfill. So, okie dokie. Thrift books is another option. Okay. Well, and we worked with Darren, what's it called again? CFO Incorporated, who has a bookstore in Ottawa, and they took our leftovers.
COF.
COF. Okay. And I do know that the Pittsburgh Recycling Center will take them, but you have to deliver them. And that's the problem. So we all miss Caesar and Union Mission greatly. Okie dokie. Next is Cindy. I'm scrolling. There she is, Cynthia Chalker.
All right. Just quick today, a reminder again to use the new form for the Talking Books program, because it has a section for parents to acknowledge that they understand if they have an under 18-year-old that is signed up for the Talking Books, they'll have access to the entire catalog of books and magazines. And then I'm going to be out and about. I've already started, so I'm anxious to drive a little red car and visit. I'm visiting new directors first. If you have waited on board training and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's December, what am I going to do? Well, call me and I will come and talk about different programs for special needs, including Talking Books, of course. And so I can help you out on that. Whatever time of day it is, not a problem. If you find equipment as you're digging around, doing your spring cleaning, can you tell I'm already tired of the cold? Anyway, if you find equipment or things that have a Talking Books label on it, go ahead and send it to me, and I'll be in touch with the director to find out what to do with it. The last thing is NLS Newsline is the resource for people who have who qualify under the Talking Books. If they would prefer to have a newspaper, national newspaper read aloud so they could hear that, I can help you out with setting that up. It also has, because it is NLS, it also has nationally the weather, jobs, all kinds of things, and they use the zip code to personalize it for particular areas around the country. So that's basically all I have.
Okay, thank you. Do you have the hyperlink for Newsline that you could put into the chat, or not into the, either to the chat or into the notes?
No, because I'm not in the office right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll find it. All right,
Okay,
we can add that to the notes afterwards.
thank you.
You're welcome. So Miss Brenda Armstrong, not Armstrong, Brenda Cash, wrong Brenda.
You figure it out.
I know.
I apologize in advance. I'm fighting crud, so hopefully I won't need to sneeze. That's why I keep turning my video off. I'm sneezing and coughing. The main thing I wanted to talk about was materials replacements for this year. You can make 8 claims in a year. So if you have not made your 8 and you have outstanding things belonging to other libraries to get paid for, get that done. Typically we process those around the 20th because it is December. And Some people want to take vacations, like both Brendas. We're going to move that up. I think we're looking at doing it next week. So get them in as quick as possible. If you don't get them in, they will get processed next year, but count against this year. That makes sense. They won't go to next year's count. They'll still count on this year. You just won't get paid until next January. The other thing is we've had several large mailings on the courier go out. Summer reading stuff went out yesterday, at least part of it. So be watching for that. And I wanted to say the boxes of the TechWise stuff. I've gotten some of those boxes. We're asking for you to return those boxes. We tried to make it simple. Just take the card out and flip it over and put them right back on the courier. You don't need to put them in a bag. If they made it to you without going in a courier bag, they'll make it back to us. And we're going to try to preserve those boxes as for as long as we can to keep reusing them. We will have, hopefully, Amy, by the end of the week, we'll be sending the calendars out for next year. The desk. The new ones. Oh, it's all blurry there. Black. They'll be coming too. So just things to watch for on the courier. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
All
right. We had fun putting those TechWise boxes together. It was an assembly line. It was all hands on deck to get those things put together and labeled
like
and
pizza boxes.
Yeah. So
I will mention one more thing.
Yeah.
Talking about holidays. If you're closed for the holiday at a different, not the normal, I have not received, I know the courier usually observes Christmas Day. I'm not sure if they're doing anything extra this year. Just let the courier know if you don't, like Caroline, no, to pause your service if you need to. That's it.
To pause service. Okie dokie. Did I forget to introduce and say hello to all of our new directors? We got 3 of them. They were in the newsletter. So we have Shayna, who took over for Julie at Erie, and we have Lou's at Pleasanton, I think, and then Missy is going to be the new director at McCune. She was serving as the interim, so she's going to be full-time at or not full-time, but she's going to be the permanent director at McCune. And Neodesha has hired a new director who will start after their teaching contract ends in May. And so Carolyn Smalley is continuing on as interim until then. So yeah, we had 10 new directors so far this year and 9 new directors last year. So I keep trying to go, okay, I can't assume anybody knows anything. Everybody's new. So please join me in welcoming our new folks, and congratulations on dipping your toe into library land. We find it a fun and exciting place. It's not quite Candyland, but it's close. Library land, full of books and reading. Okay. Kimberly.
Yes. I just have one thing today, and I just want to remind everybody that we have the cover one. We now have one that stays here at the office. So this one is in the catalog and you can check it out, but you have to come pick it up. Now, when you come pick it up, I can kind of go over things and maybe show you quickly how to use it, but it's great for fixing your paperbacks and gluing. And so it is available. It's in Koha, so we can check it out. So just let me know.
And Kim, this is like, so if you have a brand new Patterson and you open it up and all the page, well, not all the pages, but a couple of the pages fall out, you can use the cover one to remelt that glue.
You can reheat the glue. If it doesn't seal like on the first pages of it when you open it, sometimes it's mass marketed, so it goes so fast that it doesn't get set. So you can just reheat the glue and it's good to go. It cools maybe 4 or 5 minutes and the book's ready to reuse. And graphic novels are really bad about coming apart, and they are a quick fix.
Okay.
So,
And is this something that, like, if they only have one or two, can they send them in the courier and you guys will fix them?
we'd have to talk about that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to start a big mass production, but yeah,
Okay.
we can
But
talk about it.
but we do have, so now we have two of them, one that'll stay in the
Yes.
office and one that can travel. So
And it's in Koha, and all you have to type in is cover one. And I've got videos linked in the record so you can see how to use it. And so it's really great. It's really
okay.
great.
Jason put the link in the chat for you.
Oh, thank you, Jason.
Yep.
Okay.
And
That's
just
all I
remember,
have.
we have lots of stuff that you can check out from the professional collection, from the kits, from the early literacy kits, the child care aware kits. We've got lots of stuff here at SEK that you may find useful, that you can check out and borrow.
And we do have the bug zap, but hopefully you don't have to use that.
Yeah, that one's not so good.
No.
Yeah, the bug zapper. And again, those things are listed on the website under services, resource sharing. I think that's where Jason made carousels that show all the different kits and things that we have available for you. And I think Darren is rapidly adding technology to that. So some of the makerspace stuff that we're going to be able to circulate.
I want more.
Darren?
I want more tech stuff, but
Yeah, I know you want more tech stuff. That's why you're writing grants. So
And a lot of the stuff that's in some of those kits, you might really look at it because it could make really great passive programming while the kids are off from school. So we just got in some puzzles that Kim is finishing cataloging they're so cool. They're shaped like leaves, and it's the magnets with the little ball. So it's a maze, and you work the ball through the leaf maze. They're really cool. They make great passive programming.
okay. Andrea, you had your hand up.
Do you have to be a certain, I tried to put the cover one on hold because I need to borrow it. But it wasn't letting me, do I have to check it out as like under a certain card or?
It wants you to pick it up. I think that might be why it's blocking it. Is that why,
Okay.
Jason?
I'll have to look at that. I did set you up as able to place holds on certain things, but
Okay.
yeah. And
I'll just email Kim. It's fine.
Okay.
yeah, and
That's great.
For everybody, if you're trying to put things on hold and it's not letting you, I want to know, because that means I have something set up wrong in Koha. I like all of that stuff you should have access to. And if it's telling you no, just don't listen to it. Contact us instead.
And contact Brenda if you're not a Koha library and you still want it. So Gerard, Baxter, Neodache, just contact resource sharing and we can get that to you as an interlibrary loan, because that's, we can send it to you that way too. All right. Anything else from my staff?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. I wanted to put a plug in for a grant. I just put the link in the chat. This is Libraries Transforming Communities grant. So there's $11 million that's available through ALA. The deadline for this grant is December 11th. But this is a grant that you could write if you need a door, an automatic door for your library. If you need or have individuals who have special needs or disabilities coming into your library, maybe you need a ramp, or if the part of the requirement is that you have a group of individuals that have of that population that have special needs that come together that say, hey, this would be helpful in the library. So it's an opportunity for you to do community outreach, for you to serve an unserved or underserved population, and for you to make a real difference in your community. So if you need ideas, Cynthia, Cindy Chalker is on staff. I have another master's degree in early childhood special education. Give us an email and we'll give you some ideas if this is something that you're interested in, making your library more accessible. And then also, I'm going to put the link in. I don't have the link immediately available, but I'll put it in there. There is another opportunity for you to write for another grant that's coming available. And I'll put more information in there. I don't want to keep talking.
I just put another grant and another grant, more to come. Okay. Can you tell we like grants? Free money is always fun, though it's free money with strings attached. I know there's a couple of libraries that have already gotten Libraries Transforming Community grants. Yes, so we know that there's some folks in our area that qualified. Okay, that's it for us, right? Anything else? Going once, going twice. All right, we are now open to member round robin. What wonderful news do you have to share with us? What questions do you have for us? What questions do you have for each other? This is an opportunity to, you know, ask the collective for support. I'm looking at Andrea. She always starts us off. There she is. Thank you.
I do actually have a question. I'm not sure anybody here's, there might be a couple libraries that are big enough to have a bookstore in their town. Okay. So we have a new business coming in. It's actually kind of an old and new business coming together. But anyway, part of their business is going to have some sort of a bookstore with it, which is great. I'm happy with that. I know just in talking like casual conversation in passing the other day with one of the owners that they are looking to maybe try to coordinate some things with us. So my question is, how do you, I don't even know what they have in mind, but I'm just, wondering how you coordinate with a business. I mean, we've coordinated with other groups before, but with a business that is, for profit, and we're not, without, I don't even know what my question is, I guess. But for instance, one time we were asked to do story time for a pumpkin patch. Okay. And the first year we did it, because we didn't really, it was just brand new. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll be glad to do that. Well, then we realized that they have to pay to get into the pumpkin patch before they can listen to our story. It was like, we don't want to do that. I mean, if somebody's going to listen to our story times, it's free. We don't charge for that. So we said no this year and did not do it, which Charlotte said really they weren't there to see her tell stories anyway. They were there to bounce in the bouncy house. So, she was not a draw, she said. But so I guess I'm just a little nervous about helping a business make money. I don't know.
So here's my thought, because we had a thrift store here in town, and he would come in and shop our discards.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think there's any problem with any dealer, allowing any dealer to come in and shop your discards. And so let them buy from you, maybe buy from you first,
I have a feeling
and then
I have a feeling it's going to be more of a programming type thing.
Oh, really?
I don't
Not
know
because they
that.
want your materials? Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be our materials. Though this is not going to be, it's a boutique type situation. So, so that's where I don't know. I just didn't know if anybody, like in Pittsburgh or
Pittsburgh. So Bev, you guys have done some stuff together with the bookstore, haven't you?
With the bookstore?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Okay.
the bookstore is kind of unique in the fact that it also operates as, has a foundation, you know, they have a grant funding. So on that respect, we may have done in the past a few things, but it's always free to the public. And we have, you know, certain parameters. We do some partnerships with businesses, but they're more like we have our teen programs at Root Coffee House. It's more like they're giving us stuff and allowing us, but that whole program is free. We do at Root, we do purchase drinks from Root because I think they need something for their use of their space, but we pay for it. The kids don't.
Okay.
But we do, and like we're gonna do a partnership with Toast, a local restaurant, and she's gonna donate like a spice of the month and a recipe for the spice, and we'll hand them out free at the library. But we don't do anything that patrons would have to pay for, and we always have to get, I don't want to say it, this sounds like the better end of the deal. You know, they're pretty much giving something to us and we're passing it out to the public.
Okay.
You know,
And
I
you
wouldn't
probably have
go to
advertisement.
I wouldn't go
Yeah.
to a for-profit organization and do a story time for free. You know, I would go to the schools, I would go to, you know,
Right.
any type of city organization or nonprofit and things like that, but not for a for-profit organization.
Okay. Because we're also
And
kind
I
of
think that's
struggling.
probably going to have to be in your programming policy.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. Also, we're kind of struggling with our a little bit with our bulletin board policy, and I think it's very similar to probably Iola's. We might have like pretty much stole it. I don't know, but we, you know, if it's being sponsored by a organization, then we pretty much allow it to be up there. Okay. But, or this, if it's a city event or, you know, some other state information that is going to help somebody, you know, get their utilities paid for, something like that. But but we run into community organizations that we want to support or community events that we want to support, such as back to the pumpkin patch again. You know, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of kids that go to it. It's a family event, whatever, but technically we can't advertise it because it is a business. And so I don't know if anybody has a solution to, and like, if a church is having a bake sale, you know, we'll put that up because you know, it's a fundraiser for an organization per se. We had something a while back where it was a fundraiser that we couldn't identify who was making the money. We took it down. You know, we don't put up lost puppies. We don't put up puppies for sale. But we're struggling a little bit with some of these things that we know are legit good community events, but we can't actually put it up on our bulletin board. I didn't know if anybody had some wording they put in there that allows that, or if they just don't do it at all. I'm complicated this morning. I'm sorry.
Just don't worry about it and have it be a public bulletin board and say, we're going to take it off after a week.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm not Roger, you know,
right.
And that kind
so
of.
do you put stuff like that up, or
huh?
do you? Because I kind of thought our policy was similar to yours, but maybe not.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but I don't know that I've adjusted that policy yet. But I mean, I just think of if it's a community bulletin board, it's a community bulletin board. And if, you know, it's a bulletin board. It's in the foyer.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff all over it. I guess that's up to the board whether or not they have strong feelings about using that library property to advertise for whatever. But at the same time, you know, how often are we asking other businesses to post our bulletin
I know that. I know.
and our flyers and, you know,
it's just kind of like donations from the very businesses that we're saying, well, we can't do that for you because it would be making you money. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a,
And how much do you want to police that bulletin board? Do you
well,
want
we
to go out
police it
there and
quite a
look
bit
at 'em?
right now because it's not very big and it gets really junky really fast.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Ours gets junky too, and I go in and shake it down once in a while, but you know, it's also in our little vestibule, so it's just.
Mhm. So do you allow like just anything up there?
No, I mean, not technically anything. I don't put up like, you know, for-profit business, like I'll wash your truck, call me or whatever. We don't do
Well,
things
yeah,
like that, you know, but, or lost dogs or things like that.
Mhm.
But I mean, community organizations, you know, we technically don't put anything up there from like, I want to sell Avon or, you know,
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
But if it's a community event, you know, I kind of turn a little bit of a blind eye to it.
So like the pumpkin patch example, you would probably
You know,
be
I
up there.
mean, I would say, do you have room for it? If you don't have
Yeah.
room for it and it can't be a true community one, then
Yeah.
follow your policy and take it down.
Well, we kind of shrink down the stuff that stays up there forever, you know, like the tops thing and the
Yeah.
pecan thing and the, you know, there's different things that are like just informational, and we kind of shrink those down. We just take them and shrink them down so they don't take up as much room because they're just up there all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Gina
I'm kind of thinking of this in the context of what you said, Bev, about we want to get the better end of the deal. And if you're providing marketing space for the pumpkin patch, will they provide you with the opportunity to market your library program so that it's a reciprocal model,
Mhm.
right? So it's not a horrible thing for you to market the library stuff where kids are, which is the pumpkin patch in this case, right? Or the swimming pool, like Darren put in the chat, right? The weirdness comes when your staff is inside of the gate providing a story time to people that had to pay to get there, right? So maybe that's something that they make a donation to the library for your staff to come. So I think that there are some ways that you could maybe tweak it a little bit, or maybe they have free day, everyone that comes on that day
shows their library card.
right, yeah.
I do think you have to follow your policy and not give preferential treatment to one and not something you would give to another. You know, you really have to be fair. And if being fair means you have to kind of say no sometimes, then, you know, sometimes you have to say no. But I know there's a lot of things on there that kind of fall in the cracks and it's hard to. And frankly, I don't police ours that often. It's out there, you know, and people can look at it. And when I go by and see things that are out of date or obviously not intended to be up there, I take it down.
Yeah.
And
Andrea?
I don't dwell on it a whole lot.
Yeah. Andrea?
Yes.
Is the pumpkin patch an ongoing thing or is it just like a
No,
one-time?
it's an ongoing.
So if it's an ongoing business, that would.
I mean, it is. It's an ongoing for several weeks in the fall. It's not like one day.
Then that to me would be problematic because you're supporting a regular business. And I don't know if anybody else does this. We have a sign posted on our bulletin board to please have flyers approved at the front.
We do too.
Before, okay.
They don't listen.
That helps with a lot.
Yeah. And then there were a couple in the chat. Gina suggested splitting the bulletin board. So, you know, you have one that's for state community library information, and then another one for, you know, the free puppies. And Mound City, Brittany said that that's what they do. They have their board split between business information and community events, and then they have a business card holder for people to use. And, you know, Darren then brought up, you know, some of the economic development aspects. You know, if that's part of your strategic plan, or if you're into EcoDevo and supporting EcoDevo in your community,
I am.
then that might be something to consider, or having a, you know, networking or something at your event, at your library. But it sounds like the consensus is no to the pumpkin patch. Unless you can figure out an MOU or, you know, like I said, something that's fair. or they're having library day and you know,
Mhm.
you're getting more out of it than they are. So did that help?
It kind of, everybody else is just as, yeah. We've also, and sorry, one other thing is the staff has discussed getting rid of the traditional bulletin board and going to a electronic bulletin board in the lobby. And if anybody, we don't have to have this discussion here necessarily, but if anybody's done that and it's been successful and not a work time suck for the staff, if you just want to email me and, you know, say, hey, we've done that, and then I can talk to you on the side, because I don't want to take up everybody's time.
No, we did that at my last library. You just take all your flyers and turn them into JPEGs and stick them on a little thumb drive and stick them in a monitor, and
Yeah.
voila.
I guess I'm old enough, it drives me crazy when I'm reading something and then it flips to something else, because I'm like, I wasn't done with the McDonald's menu you had up there and I need to see it again.
Well, and we had a huge bulletin board at the back that we had, that was right outside Storytime room, and had all of our full color flyers. Every mom had their phone out taking pictures of the flyers that they wanted. So let's see, Jeannie uses Roku sticks and Google Photo slides, and Emma at Howard does one. They have a big TV style bulletin board. So Howard sit lib at sktc.net to ask Andrea about it, or for Andrea to ask Emma about it. Okay. Any other questions? Guys ready for the end of the year? You've got your, you know, advertised your closings for the holidays, got your holiday party plans, spent all your money. Yeah. Did your evaluations, director evaluations? Did your, my poor board, they had to go into executive session once and then come out and then go back in for an extension and then come out and then invite me in. So luckily I had written out in the agenda what they need to say, and they just filled in the blanks for the when and the who and the how long and what it was for. And so let me know if you need that wording so that you are compliant with the Kansas Open Meetings Act for going into executive session to have the director evaluation. Yes, I can actually, I can just, I'll copy it and put it in the minutes too, and send anybody that wants the wording, I can send it. So be in compliance, please. It's important. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm not seeing any hands raised. It is 10:03. This has been recorded and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. So anybody can get into it. You can share it with your staff, share it with your board. I don't care. And we will see you again in January. It'll be a Wednesday afternoon. Right? So we're going to stick with the switching even and odd, if that works for everybody. Anything else? Am I forgetting anything, guys? Oh, well, if not, Happy New Year. So yeah, January 8th. The happiest of New Year's, Merry Christmas, and all that jazz. All that jazz. Okay. All right. Jennifer, we're leaving. You got here just in time for the end. So, thank you, and you are free to go. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.